Have you ever felt like people just don't like you for no clear reason? Maybe you've noticed the looks, the whispers behind your back, or the subtle tension in the room when you enter. It's as if, no matter what you do, some people just seem to have a problem with your very presence. It's a strange phenomenon, isn't it? The truth is, the most extraordinary people, those with great talent, intelligence, kindness, or unique gifts, often face the harshest criticism. But why is that? Why do some people feel threatened by those who stand out? Here's something you might not know. Your presence disturbs their inner darkness. Your light, the energy you radiate, exposes the unresolved issues and insecurities that they've buried deep within themselves. The very essence of who you are shines in a way that their shadows can't hide from. And if you're someone who feels this constantly, if you're part of the chosen ones, this video is for you. Before we dive deeper into why people might target you, take a moment to hit comment 77 if you've ever felt the weight of being misunderstood or disliked for no reason. And thank you to those of you who have supported through super thanks. It's truly appreciated. Now, you may be wondering, what's really going on here? Why do these people act this way? Well, let me share with you the hidden reasons behind this kind of behavior. It's not just jealousy or a simple misunderstanding. There's something much deeper at play here, and you need to understand it if you're going to stand strong in your truth. Let's uncover the mysteries of why you are always targeted. Trust me, this is not just about surface-level drama. It's spiritual warfare in its purest form. God's chosen ones, here are 9 real reasons why you are always targeted. A hater is someone who constantly seeks to discredit, belittle, or minimize your accomplishments, regardless of what you do. Even if you remain silent or inactive, they will always find a reason to criticize. Their behavior is driven by jealousy and resentment, and they derive more satisfaction from your failure than from their own success. To them, life operates within a limited, zero-sum framework, where every victory you achieve somehow diminishes their sense of worth or value. You will undoubtedly encounter individuals whose internal struggles manifest as negativity, deep-rooted fears, insecurities, or unresolved emotional wounds. These individuals may treat you poorly, often without any clear cause, simply because your success or positivity highlights the darkness they carry within. Their discomfort with themselves makes it difficult for them to appreciate or respect others. But it's crucial to remember that their behavior says nothing about your value. It speaks volumes about their own internal battles and the unresolved issues they are grappling with. You may never be able to change how they perceive or treat you, but you can control how you respond to their negativity. This understanding is key to staying grounded in your own sense of self-worth, knowing that you are not defined by their harsh judgments. As the Bible teaches in Matthew 5:11-12, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven." This is a reminder that you are not alone in facing criticism or rejection. When others come against you with hatred, it can be a sign that you are walking a path aligned with divine purpose. Could their animosity be a sign that you're on the right track, fulfilling the purpose God has set for you? Instead of focusing on their negativity, why not focus on what God has for you? As you move forward, remember that their attacks are not a reflection of who you are, but of what they are struggling to accept within themselves. How much peace could you gain if you stopped seeking validation from those who do not understand your journey? And what makes them treat you like that? Reason 1. Your light reveals the shadows of others. As a chosen one, your very presence can serve as a mirror for those around you, reflecting their deepest insecurities and unresolved conflicts. This isn't something you consciously choose to do, but rather, it's a natural consequence of living authentically and embracing your spiritual transparency. When you are committed to your truth and steadfastly follow your spiritual path, you may unintentionally bring to the surface the areas in others' lives that they wish to keep hidden, their fears, their insecurities, and their feelings of inadequacy. This can cause discomfort as your light, much like a mirror, shows them what they have yet to confront within themselves. Imagine a scenario in your workplace where your unwavering dedication and commitment to excellence naturally draw attention. Some may celebrate and value your work ethic, but others might feel a sense of unease. The reason for this unease is not your success itself, but the way it reflects the shadows within them, areas of their own lives where they feel they fall short. Instead of addressing these uncomfortable truths, they may redirect their dissatisfaction towards you, fueling envy, negativity, or even outright hostility. This is akin to the biblical story of Joseph, who was chosen by God and blessed with unique dreams and gifts that set him apart from his brothers. Joseph's brilliance and the favor he received from his father made his brothers feel inferior. Rather than confronting their own jealousy or insecurity, they lashed out at Joseph, not because of his actions, but simply because his light exposed the darkness within them. This is a powerful lesson. Sometimes those who are most hostile towards you are the ones whose own shadows are reflected in your light. In the spiritual context, it's understood that everyone carries an inner light, an inherent ability to reflect not just their own flaws, but the flaws of others as well. When you walk in your truth and embody spiritual integrity, you may unknowingly stir discomfort in those who are not yet ready to face their own inner struggles. Their unease arises not from your actions, but from the uncomfortable truths your presence brings into focus. Instead of confronting these internal conflicts, it becomes easier for them to project their discontent onto you. This dynamic is seen in the way some individuals may view you as a silent judge. Your authenticity, rather than being appreciated, may feel to them like a constant reminder of their own limitations. As a result, you may find yourself misunderstood, rejected, or even hated, not because of anything you've done, but simply because you shine a light on the areas they are not yet willing to examine. The Bible teaches us in Matthew 5:14, 16, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." In this passage, Jesus speaks of the power of light to illuminate not only the surroundings, but also the hearts of those who are around it. When you embrace your divine calling and shine brightly, you cannot help but reveal both the light and darkness in others. But here's the question: is it possible that your presence is an invitation for others to confront their shadows and heal, even if they are not yet ready? Are you, in fact, offering them a chance to grow, though they may not see it yet? Living authentically as a chosen one often means being misunderstood, especially by those who are still trapped in their own internal struggles. While you may not seek to expose their flaws, your very presence may challenge them to face what they would rather ignore. Can you continue to shine brightly, knowing that the light you bring might stir resistance in others, and perhaps even help them to face the shadows within themselves? Reason 2. You often challenge the established norm, and this naturally causes discomfort in those who feel safe within the confines of the conventional. As a chosen one, your way of thinking, living, and acting often stands in stark contrast to the established norms. This is not simply a matter of personality, but a reflection of your deeper spiritual calling. Your refusal to conform to conventional expectations can be unsettling for those who find comfort and security in the predictable, safe paths of tradition. When you think differently, live boldly, and act in ways that challenge the status quo, you become a natural source of discomfort for those who prefer to stay within the boundaries of what is familiar and comfortable. In every community, whether in family dynamics, at work, or within society at large, there are unwritten rules that people tend to follow. These rules often dictate how one should behave, think, and interact. When you step outside those lines, it can be perceived as a challenge, a disruption to the calm order that many hold dear. For example, at work, while most individuals may follow the corporate structure without question, you might be the one proposing new ideas, seeking better solutions, or rejecting a system that feels unjust or ineffective. Can you imagine how that might make those who prefer stability feel? Your independent thinking may stir frustration in those who fear change or who have grown comfortable with things as they are. To them, your refusal to conform is a direct threat to their stability. This same pattern can be seen in the Bible through the life of Jesus, who consistently challenged the social and religious norms of his time. He confronted the practices of the Pharisees, the religious leaders who held tightly to tradition, and exposed the rigidity and hypocrisy within their teachings. One notable instance is in Matthew 12:10-12, where the Pharisees criticized Jesus for healing a man with a shriveled hand on the Sabbath, a day when no work was allowed according to their laws. Jesus responded by questioning their interpretation, asking, "If any of you has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will you not take hold of it and lift it out? How much more valuable is a person than a sheep? Therefore, it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." In this way, Jesus was not merely breaking a rule, he was revealing the deeper truth that the laws should serve compassion, not restrict it. Could it be that, like Jesus, your challenge to the norm is not about rejecting tradition, but about uncovering the deeper truths that people may not be ready to face? In the same way, your journey as a chosen one may lead you to question and challenge the norms that bind others. This often comes with resistance, criticism, and hostility, especially from those who are entrenched in the comfort of convention. Yet, as with Jesus, your challenge to the norm is not about rejecting the good. It's about exposing the places where tradition may be holding people back from growth, compassion, and deeper truth. Though the resistance may be difficult, it is crucial to understand that your role is to illuminate new possibilities, even if it means walking alone at times. Your nonconformity is a necessary force for growth, not only for yourself but for those around you. By challenging the established order, you inspire change and encourage others to think beyond what they've always known. Just as the light of Jesus' teachings disrupted the complacency of his time, your light has the potential to push boundaries, heal broken systems, and lead others into a more enlightened future. Isn't it remarkable how, by living authentically, you might be setting the stage for transformation, even in the face of resistance? Reason. 3. You are a reminder of what they don't have. As a chosen one, you carry a unique light and energy that naturally bring attention to your qualities and achievements. This makes you a point of reference, an example that others might admire or even aspire to follow. However, this same brilliance can also stir feelings of jealousy and inadequacy in those who are dissatisfied with their own lives or who feel incapable of reaching the same heights of success or accomplishment. Have you ever noticed how your very presence seems to highlight the things others wish they had, or the goals they have yet to achieve? Imagine a situation where you achieve something significant, whether it's a promotion at work, a personal breakthrough, or a deep connection with others. Your achievement, in theory, should be a cause for celebration, a testament to hard work or perseverance. But not everyone will celebrate with you. Instead, some people, rather than feeling inspired or motivated, will feel discomfort at the comparison. Have you ever found yourself in a position where, instead of admiration, you were met with coldness or distance? They look at your accomplishments and, when measuring them against their own lives, experience feelings of inadequacy or frustration. This comparison breeds jealousy, which can easily transform into resentment and even hatred. This phenomenon is not new. It has existed throughout history and can be observed in many well-known narratives. In the Bible, we see a classic example in the story of Cain and Abel. Abel offered the best of his flock to God, and God was pleased with his offering. Cain, however, offered something inferior, and when he saw that God favored Abel, he was consumed by jealousy. His jealousy grew so intense that it led him to commit the first recorded murder, taking the life of his own brother. But why did this happen? Cain's issue was not with Abel, but with himself. He could not accept his own shortcomings and instead projected his feelings of inadequacy onto Abel, whose success reminded Cain of his own perceived failures. As a chosen one, you may find yourself in similar situations. You stand out not because you consciously try to overshadow others, but because you live authentically, guided by your divine purpose. Have you ever felt like your very presence makes others uncomfortable? Not because of anything you've done, but because your light exposes the areas where they feel they fall short. Your achievements are a reflection of the path you've walked. And while this should be an inspiration to others, it can instead be seen as a threat by those who feel left behind or unable to reach the same level of success. They begin to project their frustrations onto you, seeing your success not as a beacon of possibility, but as a glaring reminder of their own unfulfilled desires. No matter how humble or inclusive you are, some people will always struggle to see past their own insecurities. Their negative reaction has little to do with your actions and everything to do with the internal battles they are facing. The success of the chosen one often serves as a mirror to the failures and unmet desires of others, a dynamic that can be difficult for many to accept. These individuals may not express their feelings openly, but their attitudes, whether through passive hostility, coldness, or subtle disregard, will reveal their jealousy and resentment. Have you ever been treated unfairly despite your best efforts, simply because your light revealed the shadow they were hiding? This is not something that you can control, and it is certainly not a reflection of your worth. As the Bible teaches in Matthew 5:11-12, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven." When people react with hostility or jealousy, it is a sign that they are struggling with their own battles, not with you. Rather than being overwhelmed by their hatred or rejection, it is crucial to continue shining, knowing that your light serves a greater purpose. In time, those who truly understand your value will see the positive impact you have made, while those who are blinded by their own insecurities will ultimately fall away. In the end, your light is not just for you, but for the world. Those who matter will recognize your worth, even if others are too caught up in their own struggles to do so. Keep shining, for your purpose is greater than the jealousy or rejection that others may throw your way. When you remain true to yourself, your light will continue to illuminate the path, not just for you, but for those who need it most. Reason 4. Your confidence is interpreted as arrogance. As a chosen one, your natural confidence stands out, radiating from your presence and the way you carry yourself. This confidence comes from a deep, unwavering conviction in who you are, the purpose you carry, and the direction you are heading in life. However, this self-assurance can be easily misinterpreted by those around you, especially by individuals who are struggling with their own insecurities or lack of self-esteem. To them, your confidence may appear as an affront, something that makes them feel small or inadequate in comparison. Have you ever noticed how simply being yourself can sometimes make others feel threatened? Think of everyday situations where you demonstrate this confidence, whether it's speaking up with clarity in a meeting, making difficult decisions with poise, or moving through life with the certainty that you're on the right path. For people who feel uncertain about their own abilities or who are riddled with self-doubt, witnessing your secure presence can feel challenging. Your confidence becomes a reminder of what they feel they lack. Instead of seeing it as an inspiring force, they may begin to perceive it as a threat. Why does it seem that your certainty can make others uncomfortable? This dynamic is not unfamiliar and can be observed in many lives, especially in people who are naturally confident but end up being misunderstood. A biblical example of this is David, who, despite being young and inexperienced, faced the giant Goliath with unshakable confidence in God and in his own abilities. While the Israelite soldiers, including King Saul, were paralyzed with fear, David stood firm, convinced that he could defeat the giant. His confidence, although inspiring to some, made others uncomfortable, especially those who were embarrassed by their own fear and lack of belief. After David's victory, Saul began to view him as a threat, not just because of his skill, but because David's confidence exposed Saul's own insecurities. In your life, you may face similar challenges. When you display confidence, it can evoke feelings of discomfort or even resentment in others. They may distort your self-assurance, interpreting it as arrogance or pride, because it's easier for them to label you negatively than to confront their own feelings of inadequacy. Have you experienced how your certainty can cause people to criticize or undermine you? They may try to dim your light, questioning your actions, or making you feel small, simply because your confidence challenges their own limitations. This can be painful, especially when you strive to be genuine and humble in your interactions. But it's important to remember that your confidence, when misunderstood, does not reflect something wrong with you. Rather, it shines a light on the areas where others struggle with their own lack of certainty and security. As Proverbs 27:19 says, "As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart." Your life, your actions, and your confidence reflect the clarity of your heart and your faith in God's purpose. For those who are insecure, this reflection is unsettling, as it forces them to confront their own doubts and fears. Rather than seeing your confidence as a personal attack, understand that their reactions have more to do with their internal struggles than with who you are. They project their own uncertainties onto you, trying to find fault in your light to justify their discomfort. Remember, the problem is not your confidence, but their inability to face their own internal battles. And just as David was chosen to rise above the doubts of others, so too are you called to shine, knowing that your light is not only meant for you, but for those who need to find their way through the darkness of their own insecurities. Reason 5. You don't settle for mediocrity. As a chosen one, you are always striving for something greater, something deeper. This is not merely ambition, it reflects your unwavering commitment to excellence and integrity. You don't settle for the bare minimum. You refuse to be content with just good enough. There is an inherent drive within you to push beyond the ordinary, to constantly surpass your own limitations, and to explore the fullest expression of your potential. Have you ever felt that inner fire, urging you to go beyond what's expected, even when those around you are comfortable with mediocrity? Imagine a situation where you're working on a project or pursuing a personal goal. while many around you might be content to simply meet the basic requirements and get by, you are constantly seeking ways to improve, to raise the bar, and to reach a level of excellence that few dare to attempt. For you, anything less than excellence feels like a missed opportunity to fulfill your true potential. But how do you think others might react to this pursuit of greatness? For those who are content with mediocrity, your attitude can seem like a silent criticism of the way they have chosen to live. They may feel that your pursuit of something greater somehow highlights their own choice to settle for less. This discomfort often manifests in subtle ways. Some may belittle your achievements, dismissing them as exaggerations or labeling you as a perfectionist. Others might avoid you or criticize your efforts, trying to convince themselves that striving for excellence is unnecessary or even pointless. Have you ever encountered this kind of resistance where your dedication made others uncomfortable because it highlighted their own lack of drive? The truth, however, is that your refusal to settle for mediocrity is a direct reflection of your connection to a higher purpose. You understand that you've been called to something greater, something beyond the ordinary, and your pursuit of excellence is an embodiment of that divine calling. This dynamic has been present in the lives of many great leaders and visionaries who, by refusing to accept mediocrity, faced intense resistance and at times hatred from those who preferred to stay in their comfort zones. A biblical example of this is the story of Noah. When God commanded Noah to build the ark, he didn't just follow the instructions halfway. He did it with total dedication, knowing that the task required the highest level of craftsmanship and obedience. Even though those around him mocked him and ridiculed his efforts, Noah refused to accept mediocrity or conform to the popular opinion of the time. His dedication to excellence, despite facing opposition, eventually led to his vindication. But the journey was long, lonely, and filled with adversity. As a chosen one, your quest for excellence can similarly attract criticism from those who prefer to live in mediocrity. Your dedication and commitment can be perceived as a threat to their comfort. Rather than feeling inspired by your passion and drive, they may try to pull you down in an attempt to justify their own life choices. This resistance often stems from a deep sense of insecurity, because when faced with someone who refuses to accept mediocrity, they are forced to confront their own limitations. However, it is essential that you continue to move forward and remain true to your path. Do not let the opinions of others dilute your commitment to excellence. You have been called to be a light, a trailblazer, someone who raises the standards and shows others what is possible when you live with purpose and integrity. While some may criticize you for not accepting mediocrity, many others will be inspired by your determination and courage. Your refusal to settle for less not only helps you fulfill your potential, but it also paves the way for others to do the same. In the end, your pursuit of excellence is not just for you. By staying true to your mission, you not only elevate your own life, but also inspire those around you to rise to new heights. Your light serves as a beacon, showing others that they too can strive for more, live with purpose, and never settle for anything less than the best. Reason. 6. You mirror their failure. As a chosen one, your natural brilliance, whether through your achievements, talents, or integrity, often becomes a mirror to others. This mirror reflects not only your strengths, but also the failures and limitations of those around you. While your success is a testament to your hard work and divine calling, it inadvertently exposes the places where others have faltered or fallen short. For those who are not ready to face their own failures or who live in denial about their limitations, this reflection can be deeply painful. Have you ever noticed how some people react to your success as if it somehow points out their own shortcomings? Imagine a scenario where you achieve an important goal, a promotion at work, a personal victory, or even a spiritual breakthrough. For you, this achievement is the result of consistent effort, dedication, and the grace of God guiding you along your journey. But for those who have not achieved the same success, or who have faced repeated setbacks, your victory can be interpreted as a silent reproach of their own failures. Rather than seeing your success as an inspiration, they begin to view it as an implicit criticism of what they were unable to accomplish. How many times have you felt the weight of their resentment, even when you've done nothing to provoke it? This kind of dynamic is not unique to modern life. It's been seen throughout history, especially in the Bible. One of the clearest examples is the relationship between Saul and David. When David defeated Goliath, he was hailed as a national hero, and his success was admired by the people. However, King Saul, who was already struggling with insecurity and fear, saw David's rising star as a threat. David's victory not only made him a hero, but also exposed Saul's own fears and inadequacies. Saul was unable to face Goliath on his own, and instead of celebrating David's triumph, he became consumed by jealousy and resentment. Every new achievement by David felt like a painful reminder of Saul's failure, and his insecurities grew into an obsession, ultimately leading him to try to take David's life. In your life, you may experience something similar. When you achieve success or reach a new level of personal growth, there will be those who, instead of celebrating with you, begin to harbor feelings of envy and resentment. They see your progress as a mirror that forces them to confront their own shortcomings. This confrontation can be difficult and uncomfortable, as it requires them to face things they would rather ignore. Unable to cope with their own feelings of inadequacy, they may project their frustrations onto you, often in passive-aggressive or hostile ways. Have you ever been the target of such resentment simply for doing what you've been called to do? The reactions you face are often more about the internal struggles these individuals are dealing with than anything you've done. Your success, rather than motivating them to improve, serves as a reminder of what they feel they lack. Instead of using your example as a stepping stone for their own growth, they may resort to downplaying your achievements, spreading rumors, or even attempting to sabotage your progress. These behaviors stem from a wounded ego, where they feel that diminishing you somehow alleviates the discomfort they feel when faced with their own inadequacies. It is crucial, however, that you continue on your path with integrity and determination. Your success is not about the comfort or discomfort of others, but about your faithfulness to the purpose God has placed in your heart. As the Bible reminds us in Romans 12:21, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Even in the face of criticism or hostility, remember that your light and success are part of a greater purpose, and they are not to be diminished by the reactions of those who struggle with their own internal battles. Your achievements are not just for you, they are a testament to what is possible when you trust in God and remain steadfast in your purpose. Continue to shine, even when others' discomfort seeks to dim your light. Your success is a reflection of your dedication, and it will inspire those who are ready to face their own shadows, just as it may challenge those who are not. Reason. 7. Your authenticity defies the falsehood of others. One of the most powerful qualities you possess as a chosen one is your unshakable authenticity. You live your truth with boldness, courageously embracing who you truly are, regardless of external expectations or societal pressures. This authenticity, your willingness to be transparent and genuine without the need for masks or pretenses, is a rare and extraordinary gift in a world that often encourages people to conform and hide behind facades. But what happens when your truth stands in stark contrast to the falsehoods and facades that others cling to? When you walk into a room where most people are concerned with fitting in and meeting the expectations of others, your authentic presence becomes a beacon. Your unwavering truth highlights the superficiality and pretense of those around you. In a world where so many are afraid to stand alone, to speak their truth without fear of judgment, you become a reflection of the very freedom they long for. And this often is met with discomfort, resistance, and sometimes even hostility. Consider the people in your life who hide behind masks, pretending to be something they are not in order to gain approval or avoid rejection. Perhaps this is in a social group, a work environment, or even within your own family. Everyone around you seems to be playing a role, fulfilling expectations, even sacrificing their true selves to stay in line. Then you enter the scene, unafraid to live your truth, to show who you are without fear of what others might think. Your authenticity radiates, drawing attention in a way that challenges the status quo. For those who are too afraid to be real, your authenticity is a mirror they would rather not see. This dynamic is not new. It's been playing out throughout history. In the Bible, we see this exemplified in the life of Daniel. In a foreign land, surrounded by people who worshipped other gods and lived by foreign customs, Daniel remained steadfast in his faith. He did not conform to the practices of the Babylonian court or eat the king's food, knowing it went against his beliefs. Daniel's authenticity, his refusal to compromise his principles, made him stand out in a way that threatened those around him. His enemies, those who lived lives of duplicity, saw his faithfulness as a challenge to their way of life, and they plotted to destroy him. The well-known story of Daniel in the lion's den serves as a powerful example of the price of living authentically. His refusal to bow to idols or to abandon his God led to his being thrown into the den. But even in the face of death, Daniel remained true to who he was, and God, in his mighty power, protected Daniel, using his authenticity to bring glory to his name. This story teaches us that authenticity in the face of adversity can be both a challenge to others and a powerful testimony of God's presence in our lives. In your own life, living authentically can draw admiration or disdain. Those who also seek to live truthfully may see you as a beacon of hope, a reminder that it is possible to live your truth without compromise, no matter the cost. But for those who hide their true selves, your authenticity exposes their own falsehoods, their own fears. They may feel threatened by your unwillingness to conform, and this may provoke negative reactions. They might gossip about you, criticize you unfairly, or attempt to undermine your credibility in subtle ways. So, what does it mean to live authentically? How does your authenticity challenge the world around you? Can you remember a time when your truth made others uncomfortable, but it also gave you the strength to stand firm in who you are? Authenticity is not just a gift, it's a challenge to the world. It is a testimony of your faith and trust in God's design for your life. And just like Daniel, when you remain true to your path, God will use that authenticity to protect you and testify to His glory. Reason 8. You don't need their approval. One of the most profound aspects of being a chosen one is your emotional independence. You possess a sense of self-assurance that is rare and, for many, disconcerting. Your security and fulfillment are not dependent on the approval of others. Instead, your confidence comes from within, grounded in your connection to your purpose and your relationship with God. This deep internal strength enables you to walk your path firmly, even when it seems like you're standing alone. You don't need external validation to feel worthy or to continue on your journey. For many people, this emotional independence is a foreign concept. They rely heavily on the opinions of others to feel good about themselves, to measure their worth, and to navigate their lives. This need for constant approval and recognition is so ingrained in their sense of self that when they see someone like you, confident and at peace without that external affirmation, they often struggle to understand it. Your ability to stand firm in who you are, without seeking the validation of others, becomes a threat to their own worldview. It forces them to question why they need others' approval, and the discomfort that arises from that uncertainty can lead to resentment. In their eyes, your independence challenges everything they have known. They might try to discredit you, belittle your achievements, or even dismiss your success altogether in an attempt to diminish your sense of self-worth. For them, it is easier to try to undermine you than to understand how you can stand so strong without seeking validation from others. The notion that you can be content, fulfilled and confident without the need for external praise is something they either envy or simply cannot comprehend. But this emotional independence is not something that just appears overnight. It is a result of your deep connection to God and your unwavering trust in His plan for your life. The Bible offers numerous examples of individuals who are able to find their strength and confidence in God without needing the approval of the world. Take, for example, the story of Jesus Christ Himself. Despite facing rejection, scorn, and constant opposition, Jesus remained unwavering in His mission. He didn't seek the approval of men. His identity was firmly rooted in His relationship with His Father. In John 5:30 He says, "I can do nothing on my own. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of Him who sent me." Jesus' independence from the opinions of others is a profound reminder of the power of emotional independence in fulfilling God's purpose. Another example is found in the life of the Apostle Paul. Despite the many challenges he faced, shipwrecks, imprisonment, and rejection, Paul's sense of purpose and emotional stability never wavered. In Philippians 4:11-13, Paul writes, "I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." Paul's ability to find contentment and strength in God without needing the approval of others is a testament to the power of emotional independence rooted in faith. In your own life, this inner strength is what allows you to remain steadfast in your purpose, even in the face of criticism, rejection, or misunderstanding. People may not always understand why you don't need their approval, but that's because they are bound by the need for external validation. Your emotional independence is proof that you know who you are and where you are going. It shows that you are secure in your purpose, guided by God's plan, and unwavering in your faith. This independence is something many people secretly envy, even if they don't acknowledge it. They might criticize you or attempt to discredit your path, but deep down, they long for the same security and peace that comes from within. The truth is, your emotional independence is a reflection of the trust you have in God's sovereignty over your life. You don't need the approval of others because your worth is not defined by what others think of you, but by who you are in Christ. How often do you find yourself questioning the approval of others? What would it feel like to truly live in the freedom of knowing that your identity and purpose are secure in God? Reflecting on these questions can help strengthen your understanding of why your emotional independence is not just a blessing, but a divine gift, one that keeps you aligned with God's will, no matter what external pressures may come your way. In the face of criticism or rejection, can you stand firm in knowing that your worth is already settled in God's eyes? Would embracing this emotional independence allow you to follow God's path more boldly, without fear of judgment from others? Reason 9. They feel they can't control you. One of the most powerful aspects of being a chosen one is the unshakable inner freedom and strength you carry within you. This independence, deeply rooted in your purpose and spiritual connection to God, means that you don't succumb to the influence or control of others. Your ability to resist manipulation and to stand firm in your own autonomy is something that those around you, especially those who are used to controlling others, find unsettling. For them, your refusal to be shaped or directed by their expectations or desires is perceived as a direct challenge. Your freedom becomes a threat, and rather than admire it, they may react with hostility, attempting to marginalize you or diminish your voice in an effort to reassert control. This dynamic often stems from their inability to grasp the source of your power. While they are accustomed to manipulating situations or people to achieve their goals, your resilience and independence leave them powerless to influence you. They struggle to understand how you can be so steadfast, unshaken by their attempts to control or sway your actions. In their eyes, your ability to stand strong without their approval and without bending to their will is something they cannot tolerate. The reality is, they want to impose their vision and their power onto others, and your autonomy simply does not fit into their framework. But here's the paradox. This inner freedom is not only what makes you powerful, it is also what enables you to fulfill your divine mission. Your independence becomes an inspiration for others, encouraging them to break free from the chains of external control and live authentically and courageously. The light that you carry within you naturally draws others toward you, urging them to examine their own lives and perhaps awaken to their own potential. This kind of influence doesn't require manipulation. It simply exists as a beacon, drawing others to reflect on their own actions, thoughts, and spiritual journeys. In the Bible, we see countless examples of individuals who carried such inner freedom and strength, and whose autonomy made others uncomfortable. One powerful example is the story of Moses. When God called Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, he was met with resistance not only from Pharaoh, but from his own people. Moses, empowered by his connection to God, stood firm in his mission, unafraid of Pharaoh's power or the doubts of those around him. He was driven by a purpose far greater than the control others tried to exert over him. In Exodus 3:14, God reveals to Moses, "I am who I am." This statement from God highlights the unshakable identity and authority Moses was given, not from man, but from God himself. Moses' freedom to follow God's will, despite the hostility and manipulation he faced, is a powerful testament to the strength that comes from spiritual freedom. Similarly, Jesus faced constant opposition from religious leaders and rulers who sought to control the narrative and maintain their power. Yet, he remained resolute in his mission, guided by his unwavering connection to God. In John 8:32, Jesus declares, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." This freedom from the control of others, whether through societal pressure, religious expectations, or the manipulations of those in power, was central to Jesus' ministry and purpose. In your own life, the more you embody this freedom, the more others may feel threatened by your ability to remain untouched by their attempts to control you. It is important to understand that their hostility is not necessarily personal. Often, it is the result of their own struggles with unresolved pain, inner darkness, or insecurity. They may see your light and feel uncomfortable because it forces them to confront their own shadows, their fears, unresolved trauma, or self-doubt. Your presence makes them aware of the fractures they have long tried to ignore, and instead of finding peace in your light, they become defensive and hostile. These reactions, however, are not about you. They are reflections of the internal battles these individuals face. Your brilliance and strength disturb the darkness within them, forcing them to confront the very things they would rather avoid. This is why some people may never fully accept or love you, not because you have done anything wrong, but because your radiant spirit irritates the darkness they carry. As you move forward on your journey, remember that your light will always disturb the darkness in others. Some will respond to it with love, respect, and admiration, while others will choose to fight against it. It's important to remember that you cannot heal or erase their pain. This is a process only they can undertake themselves. God may use you as a reflection of His light, but the healing of others is ultimately in their own hands. Be discerning in the relationships you cultivate. Not everyone who crosses your path has good intentions. Some people are sent to help you, to guide you, or to walk alongside you in your journey. But others are sent to destroy, to manipulate, or to derail your purpose. It is crucial to develop the discernment to know who is who, so that you can continue to walk in the light of your purpose without being swayed by those who would seek to control or undermine you. What does it feel like to live without the constant need for approval or control? Can you identify moments when your freedom has made others uncomfortable? How can you continue to protect your light and purpose, even when faced with hostility from those who seek to control you? Reflecting on these questions can help you solidify your commitment to living boldly and independently, in alignment with the divine calling placed on your life. As God's chosen ones, you are destined to live a life of purpose, strength, and authenticity. Your inner freedom, emotional independence, and unwavering connection to God make you a beacon of light in a world that often seeks to control and manipulate. You carry a rare and powerful gift, the ability to remain true to yourself, even in the face of opposition or hostility. Your authenticity challenges those around you, and while some may resist it, others will be inspired to follow your example and embrace their own truth. Remember, your journey is not always about the approval of others. It's about fulfilling the divine mission that God has set before you. Your freedom and strength are a testimony to His work in your life. And as you continue to walk in His light, you will not only fulfill your purpose, but inspire others to do the same. If this message has resonated with you, I encourage you to support this ministry by using the Super Thanks feature. Your generosity helps us continue spreading powerful truths. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts or experiences, and let's continue to build a community of truth seekers. May God bless you abundantly, and may His light continue to guide you on your path. Stay strong, stay true, and remember that you are never alone. God is with you always.